Howdy, folks. I'm Fancy Florine, frantically feeding feisty ferrets.
I'm Amber.
Amber, why are we feeding ferrets Florine?
Well, no, we're not feeding the ferrets fluorine. Fluorine is feeding the ferrets. And fluorine is feeding them frantically because they're feisty, and if you don't feed them, bad things will happen.
It sounds like you're feeding ferrets Florine, Amber.
No, fluorine is feeding the ferrets.
Itself. Florine
No.
is feeding the ferrets itself. Let's get started. We can always tell what Amber's thinking about. Food. Exclusively food. Alright, folks, our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Dumping My Boyfriend Who Was Moonlighting as My Online Bully? I wish I was lying, or at least motivated enough to sell this plot to Netflix. I'm a 23-year-old female, and I have been plagued for the past year by mean, vicious personal attacks sent to my social accounts, my emails, and even my LinkedIn profile. They started off as weird and cryptic and generally mean, but as time went on, they got more personal, touching on fears and insecurities that I hadn't told anyone close to me about. These started about the same time that I met and started dating my now ex, a 26-year-old male. It was distressing, as all the ways that I would think to block this person didn't work. They found all of my new accounts, emails, etc. that I had made, and the torrent of hurtful diatribes continued. On good days, I would just be mildly disgusted and flick them into my trash. On the bad days, I would lay in bed reading them until my eyes hurt. My boyfriend provided with me comfort on these days, and generally would react very distressed when I told him about the newest message. The weird, almost TV plot thing continued, and I felt more and more isolated because it was so ridiculous, but it got under my skin. This is where my ex messed up. He thought a good relaxation technique would be to try edibles. I had some before, but he had never tried them. He fell asleep promptly after taking them with his laptop open on the couch. Womp womp womp. I didn't snoop until I did, moving it to the table and seeing an open Gmail account and reading the username and email associated with the account to be the same as my most current letter from my secret admirer. I started going through all of the emails and accounts, fake Instagrams, and even Google numbers, all linking back to, well, I guess him. So now I'm sitting there, reality shifting under my feet while he sleeps behind me on the couch. I woke him up with a hard shake and I threw the laptop into his lap, asking what I was looking at. I locked myself in my room and I kicked him out in the morning, sober, and we haven't spoken since. My phone and emails have been quiet for the last 2 weeks, except for a few text messages that his only intention was to show me how good of a caregiver he was and wanted me to associate him with comfort, and that I'm a jerk who doesn't understand him. I feel for him, and everything on paper says we should work, but I don't feel like this is something that I can look past. How will I ever know what's real? Am I the jerk? Alright, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. What he did is cruel and manipulative. A good partner does not need to psychologically torture you to show you that they're a good person.
Yeah.
He should be able to comfort you through the minutia of daily life. You know, bad things happen, and he should be there for you. He doesn't have to make up this entire thing.
Well, exactly. Enough bad things happen in the world on a regular basis that there will be plenty of opportunities to comfort your partner. And I think what he did here was very disturbing, maybe even illegal, because this is harassment, bullying, verbal abuse. I mean, all the different things that he's done to you. And who's to say that he didn't even mean some of this stuff? Like, he just picks at OP because, like, he's a sick, twisted individual who gets some kind of level of joy out of doing this.
Or, like, it's common for abusers to tear their victims down so that they will feel like they can't go to anyone else. And so it may have been an implicit goal to make it so OP had to depend solely on him. You know, she said she was feeling isolated, and it just feels like textbook abuse.
It does. It really does. And I would suggest, OP, for you to go to therapy to kind of work through some of this stuff, because there's a good chance that he will try this again at some point in time. In that case, you probably are going to have to change all of your social stuff again in hopes that he doesn't find you again, because I doubt this is the last you've heard of him. He's just trying to love bomb you at the moment and be like, I'm so sorry you misunderstood me. I only ever meant to build you up and not tear you down. So, yeah, I just don't think that this is a good or healthy relationship, and who's to say he isn't lying about more stuff to make himself look like your textbook good fit type of thing, right? Because he's able to lie like this without showing any guilt or remorse, so what's to say he isn't able to do it on the day-to-day type of stuff?
And even if he was perfect for you in any other way, someone who psychologically manipulates you and has no problem like making you cry and upset so they can sweep in and be the knight in shining armor is not a good fit.
No. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Signal Violinist 995 says, holy cow, this guy is nuts. Absolutely scary. Please turn everything over to the police. Stalking and harassment are not only cruel, but illegal. And Leanna Van says, I'm with you on this. Hope OP took screenshots. And Ellie71UA says, oh my goodness, sweetheart, you are being abused, targeted, and emotionally gaslit. He is a sociopath. That is not normal behavior at all. This is the kind of story that ends up on Dateline. If you don't want Keith Morrison narrating your murder story, then you need to run. This guy has shown you who he is. Believe him and block him and get away from him. File a police report and get a restraining order. He is a psycho, and you are not the jerk, but you are in danger. I mean, it does seem that way. I would not be surprised if this guy... I mean, maybe this is a bit of an exaggeration, but I do think that this guy is not good news at all. Alright, folks, our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Asking My Girlfriend to Leave My Apartment for a Couple Days Each Month? Throwaway account because my friends use Reddit. I'm a 25-year-old male, and I've been dating my girlfriend, Eloise, a 23-year-old female, for a little over a year now, and we've been living together in my apartment for just under 3 months. At first it was great. She instantly tidied up the place and generally made it a lot brighter. But for a couple of days each month, she became absolutely awful. Eloise has endometriosis, which, as I understand it, is a condition which makes the tissue of your uterus weaker or something. Anyways, basically, when she's on her period, all the things that normally are bad about it are like 10 times worse. Or at least that's how she explained it to me. Some of the things that she does on her period are, she uses my bathtub a lot to help with her cramps, and though she always cleans up after herself, it's a little uncomfortable knowing that she was just bleeding in it. She tends to throw up a lot on her period, which makes my job, I work from home, really difficult, because they can hear her in the next room over while I'm on Zoom calls. And guys, I cannot describe to you the smell. Like, it's so bad. And I've bought her air spray to use after she uses the bathroom on her period, and she has gotten better about it, but still. Also, she's really lazy when she's on her period. Like, sometimes she won't move for an entire day and just lays on the couch. Basically, it's becoming increasingly annoying for me to live with her during the usually 5 days or so when she's on her period. Her period is coming up, and I decided I really couldn't stand the thought of having to deal with that all week. So the other day, I very politely asked her if she would be open to staying at a hotel while she was on her period so that I could get more work done and have warm water and so on and so forth. I told her that I would pay for it, of course, and help her pack, but she just looked at me kind of shocked. She said that she needed to think about it, so I left her alone for the rest of the day. I figured that she wanted to make sure that there were good hotels around here or something, but at dinner, she surprised me by saying that she didn't want to leave for a week each month, and that if I didn't want her here when she wasn't feeling well, then maybe we shouldn't live together. I told her that she was being ridiculous, and that this was no reason to ruin our relationship, but all of her friends are saying that I'm a jerk. If everyone says that I'm in the wrong, I'll apologize. But right now, it seems like we either have to break up or have to deal with this until we do. So I'm kind of in a no-win situation. All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk? Not the jerk?
Yes, you're the jerk. You're supposed to be in a partnership. And that means supporting each other when the times are good and when the times are bad. And it seems like you're only interested in being with her when she's actively making your day easier and better. You want her around because she cleans your house and makes everything nice, but you don't want to deal with the hard stuff. And I think that means you're not ready for a relationship.
Yeah, I think OP, there are going to be hard times in relationships, and that's really what it boils down to. And you have to be willing to work with the person that you're in a relationship with during those times. And it seems like you're not acting very compassionate towards her needs. This is her home, and you're basically telling her that she's a guest here as long as she's on her period.
Yep. And like when I'm feeling sick, the last place I want to be is in a strange hotel. I want to be where it's familiar, where it's comfortable. It's just like such a cruel thing. And I also like having a partner who can like make me some tea or something, you know? And so to just be like, well, you're an inconvenience to me. You've really shown her where she falls in your book, and I really hope she does dump you over this.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that this is just not a very salvageable situation unless he has a massive wake-up call, and hopefully with Reddit telling him that he's in the wrong here, that he'll actually see that maybe he needs to be a little more compassionate and hopefully a little bit better of a person.
Oh, but you see, he bought her aspirin, so she shouldn't be in pain anymore.
Oh, and I guess Amber has some insight on the comments
Yeah,
here, so.
his comments do not paint him in a good light.
And Crystal Queen 3000 says, "You're the jerk. It's her home too. She has a medical condition that causes severe pain. Apart from this post painting you as someone that's really lacking in empathy, you also just don't sound grown up enough to be dating women." And OP replies, "Well, technically, it's not her home. I'm paying for the apartment."
He's one of those people.
And German Death Ray Gay says, "Nope, you're partners. You share a home. It belongs to both of you as long as you stay partners. Do you really think that she should be treated as a guest in her own home just because you happen to pay for it? Your money entitles you to kick her out of the home whenever she's inconvenient for you?" And OP replies, "I'm not kicking her out. I offered to pay for a hotel, which will honestly probably be more comfortable than my apartment." And Ashlyn M2 says, "This cannot be real. Please, please, please tell me it's fake. If this is real, you're absolutely the worst human ever. I'm shocked that she just didn't immediately pack up her stuff and tell you to F off and leave you. She is in indescribable pain every single month. And you are being a whiny brat because you don't like hearing someone throw up. Honest to goodness, get over yourself and do better for her. If I were her, I would not even give you the option of, I'm not going to leave during my period. And if you insist, then I'm leaving for good. And I would be just leaving permanently. How is she ever going to expect you to be empathetic and decent partner in the future? Oh no, my wife is pregnant and I hate hearing her throw up every morning. My 8-month pregnant wife is so lazy and sometimes lays on the couch all day. It's been 3 days since she had a C-section and I have to do everything. She's lazy. Goodness, it's so annoying when the baby cries and I can't get any sleep. Maybe she'll just take the baby to the hotel every night so I can sleep. Do you see how ridiculous that sounds? Apologize to her. You're the jerk many times over." And OP replies, "Of course I wouldn't say that if she was pregnant. Even though I don't want kids, I would support her then. This isn't pregnancy."
But what's the difference? It's a medical condition either way, OP.
And Antique Challenge 182 says, "You're a mega jerk. To the point where this story feels fake. Like, come on." And OP replies, "I'm so confused why this is such a big deal. It's just a few days. She probably wants a break from me sometimes too."
Well, then why don't you go stay in the hotel, OP? If it's that nice and luxurious, you could, go stay there.
And Conviction Staccato says, "Yikes, you're the jerk. You don't like the bath because she bled in it, even though she cleaned it. And no, she's not lazy on her periods. She's in most likely extreme pain. Endometriosis doesn't make the uterus weaker. I think you need to go educate yourself and go do some reading on what exactly it does cause. You can't kick her out of your home for a few days because of the period. Stop being a misogynist and support your girlfriend. Newsflash, most women have periods. You need to get over it." And OP replies, "I've bought her Advil, so she shouldn't be in pain anymore." And Run Up a Flagpole says, "You've got to be internet troll. Endometriosis can be so painful that Advil can barely do anything for the pain. And OP replies, so then what can I do? I feel like I'm out of options, and I know it sounds selfish, but I'm really at my limit. Imagine how much of their limit his poor girlfriend is with having to deal with this every single month. Alright folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she's got a joke of the jovial Bobstein variety. My favorite. Please, Amber, go ahead. Share the joke with us. I'm not trying to delay it at all, waiting for you just to share the joke, Amber.
Did you hear the story of the zombie's grave?
I did hear the story of the zombie's grave. It was jovial Bobsteins who raised from the dead, bringing back all the zombie, terrible, horrible jokes.
Never mind, you wouldn't dig it.
You know, jovial Bobstein, that wasn't actually terrible. And I've got some Make 'em In. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed this spectacular special Sunday episode. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please, please, have it a short poem about a bad partner.
Handsome and charming they may be, but bullies and gluttons are not your destiny.
I guess so, and that applies to the Florine at the beginning too. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!